Hello, everyone. Luke of Life here. I just got done watching WWE No Mercy, hosted by Smackdown, which was the second Smackdown pay per view since they did the whole brand extension thing, which I'm glad they did. And speaking of which, Becky Lynch was injured, but she still does have the title. But due to this injury, I think it was some kind of a head injury. I don't know the exact details. I just saw it like as a brief glyph before I actually watched the pay per view event, but I saw that she had been injured. Or actually, no, I think somebody brought it up in a hangout I did last night with Undertaker Freak, and they said like she had been injured. I was like, oh fuck, they're gonna do the same fucking thing they did with Sasha Banks, which essentially because she can't compete, she needs to hold or hand the title over to somebody else. In this case, I guess it would be Alexa Bliss, but thankfully, I guess the injury wasn't too serious, and I'm glad more so for Becky Lynch's health than I am for her holding on to the title. But at the same time, it's like if she lost the title due to some injury, it'd be like, oh, come on. Why are we always like crowning these new champions like, Finn Balor, Sasha Banks, and now Becky Lynch? It's like, God damn it. Can we not, give these people some elevated reception and then have them carry it over for a bit? They keep getting all these injuries, which that's a different rant for a different day, and it has a lot to do with how the WWE overworks its fucking people. I'll just say it that way. They overwork the shit out of these people, and that's the fucking problem, is that there's just too much exposure as to what these people are doing, and it's hurting their product in the long run. But again, that's a different rant for a different day, because there's a lot of things how we need to explain, point out, etc., to really give you guys the more accurate picture as to what I'm trying to tell you. But anyways, the Dolph Ziggler / Miz promo for the IC title was one of the fucking best promos I've seen this year. That was fucking good. It had me emotionally involved. I'm like, because I've seen the stories about Ziggler possibly making this its last match of the year. And I was just like, God damn, I mean, if this really is his last match, it's like, I haven't really been the biggest Dolph Ziggler guy, but at the same time, it's going to feel weird with him not being in the picture. So I was just kind of like, man, I never cared much for him, but I did enjoy his matches, especially, to name a more recent one, which was the Survivor Series match back in 2014, where it was basically Team Cena versus Team Authority, if you will. And Dolph Ziggler was the last man standing. I did not see that shit coming. And that was unexpected considering just how that whole match went. I mean, the stakes for that match were a little silly, but the match itself was just fucking good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I was like, wow, I might even fucking rewatch it after this video I'm recording here, just because I want to rewatch that match, because a lot of the Survivor Series matches tend to be pretty good. Like, when I first watched them, I'm like, yeah, it was okay. But I go back and rewatch them, I'm like, actually, these were pretty fucking good. And WWE just has this knack of doing these retirement matches, if you will. They just have a knack for always getting them right. That's like the one thing they have never, ever gotten wrong is retirement match promos. Whether it be Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, any of them, they always fucking get it right. And I like the fact that WWE always gets it right. It's like they know exactly what to do and what to say. But you think about it though, Dolph Ziggler's been around since 2006. If you remember that he was part of the Spirit Squad back when DX had reformed under Shawn Michaels and Triple H, after Triple H lost to John Cena at WrestleMania 20, I think it was 22. Yeah, it was 22 back in 2006. And he kind of did his little thing, and then him and Shawn Michaels ended up reuniting as the DX duo against Vince McMahon, his Spirit Squad, and all that other shit. And I like the Spirit Squad. As fucking goofy as they were, I like the Spirit Squad. And it was nice seeing them pop up. I think it was last week, or not last week, but last SmackDown episode. I thought that was fucking good. I was like, oh, hey, Spirit Squad, we're touching on this shit now. That's awesome. But yeah, I think he's been involved with the company since the Spirit Squad debuted. If he was involved before that, I don't recall it at all, but he may have been involved, similar to how Sheamus was involved in the company before his actual in-ring debut. So this pay-per-view did something unique, and that is they did the if I can tap into the damn thing. Yeah, that was supposed to be the whole, Becky Lynch is injured, so her versus Alexa Bliss just isn't on tonight, which I was sad to see, because I really wanted to see Becky Lynch in action, because I like Becky Lynch. She's one of my favorite women's wrestlers right now. Her, Sasha, and Naomi are probably my three favorites right now, well, and Paige, but Paige has been off screen for so damn long that I'm just wondering, what exactly are they going to do with Paige? Is there even a reason for me to get invested in Paige anymore beyond this point? I mean, she's pretty much the youngest active duty female wrestler on the roster right now. So it remains to be seen if they're going to do anything with her. But I want to say that they're going to, despite all the shit that happened with Alberto Del Rio, which, God, WWE really fucked it up for that guy. Like, I don't like Alberto Del Rio. I don't care much for him. His in-ring work is good, but I don't care much for the guy in general. But when he signed his contract, they did have an obligation to do things for him, which they didn't do because they're like, he signed the contract, fuck this dude. So I totally get why he left the company. It makes sense to me. So I'm not faulting the guy for all this shit that happened. But at the same time, there's a lot of backstage rumors, just some weird shit going on with Paige because of the fact that she's dating this guy, considering that he's twice her age, which I have no problem with her dating this guy. Her personal life isn't any of my fucking business. If she wants to date Alberto Del Rio, fucking have at it. I don't care. Anywho, so as you can see here, first match of the night was the World Heavyweight title, the WWE World Heavyweight title, or whatever the fuck we're calling it these days, between Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, and John Cena. I kind of knew who was going to win this from the get-go, given who was going to do some after or some post-match type work outside of the WWE, namely John Cena, which probably spoiled it as to who won, but there is one thing that stood out. I mean, the match was fucking good. I like this match. This match was fucking good. But the double finish they had, where essentially it was Dean Ambrose had locked in a submission move on AJ Styles, and then John Cena kind of came in and locked his own submission move, and AJ Styles tapped out, and yet John Cena was like, "Oh yeah, I won." Like, no, dumbass. You locked in a submission move after Dean Ambrose had already locked in a submission move, so all you really managed to do was, you had to juggle the idea of, let's say he rolls in, locks his move. It's like, well, is Dean Ambrose going to let go? In which case, John Cena's going to keep holding on. But even then, essentially, they made John Cena look like a fucking dumbass with this shit because in his own mind, with how long he's been with the company, he should realize that if both him and Dean Ambrose have a submission move locked in and AJ Styles taps out, well, who the fuck won? Well, are they going to pick you by default, or are they going to choose you over Dean Ambrose? And what happens if they choose Dean Ambrose over you? You're going to look like an even bigger stooge. So the whole double finish thing only works when the two people applying a submission move or doing the pin aren't aware of the other person doing said thing. That's what adds to the whole confusion and shit. Like, well, who really won? But thankfully, and I kind of figured they would do this, is they kept the match rolling. But again, when it comes to John Cena, I have my own criticisms about John Cena and all that other shit, which, I took a break from wrestling, so I'm kind of over all of that. But I was like, why apply your own submission move when Dean Ambrose already has his own locked in? Like, what the fuck are you trying to accomplish here? It would only work if both submission moves have been locked in without the other guy knowing that they also have the submission in. But that aside, the last 10 minutes of this match were the biggest of the highlights when it comes to this match, and I fucking love this match. And AJ Styles won. I'm glad he did. I forget if he pinned or tapped out. No, he pinned Dean Ambrose. That's right. So, John Cena, of course, was not going to eat the pin because John Cena never eats the pin when it comes to triple threat matches involving John Cena. So, again, the right guy went over. I wanted AJ Styles to win because I want a long-term AJ Styles title run for some young and upcomer to eventually overthrow AJ Styles. I'm not entirely sure who I would pick at this point in time. I guess that remains to be seen, but I mean, if they go for it, I guess Neville, but it's Neville on Raw. It's been a minute since I've seen Neville in action. So, again, right now, run with AJ Styles. He's a good champion. He is good champion material. He is probably your best champion material on SmackDown right now. So, I would say continue rolling with this guy because, God, he has got a lot of fucking talent. And WWE they tend to focus on their own narrative, so they're going to ignore all the shit he did outside of it for the most part, which they did acknowledge some of his accomplishments, like, the world titles he's won, world titles from New Japan Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and TNA and all that other shit. But at the same time, it wasn't Byron Saxton. I kept making these typing out these Twitter posts where I was like, man, fucking Byron Saxton keeps inserting the whole WWE narrative, but it wasn't him. What was that, like, lawyer dude from NXT, or not NXT, the Nexus? What the fuck was his name? Hey, I should tell you how irrelevant he is to me, because I don't remember the fucker's name, but he was on commentary with JBL and then that other guy who, I like this dude, but for the life of me, I can't remember his fucking name, because I don't really follow the weekly shows, I just watch the pay-per-views, but I do keep up with WWE.com, like, after Raw is aired, I'll watch the recaps and the highlights and all that other shit, because honestly, I can't sit through 3 hours of Raw. I just can't. And to anybody that can, it's like, all right, well, I guess if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. So anyways, next we had Nikki Bella versus Carmella, which, I would have gone back and re-downloaded a better image, but this match meant so fucking little to me that I just didn't give a shit. In fact, I'm going to summarize it in less than a minute. There was a lot of hair pulling. There was Carmella doing her moonwalks, and Nikki Bella won. That's pretty much all you need to know. This match was a waste of time. It was about the break, essentially. So we had a promo with The Miz trash-talking Dana Bryan on his number of opportunities to succeed and win championships and stuff. So he was kind of poking fun at Dana Bryan. And then he says that once Dolph Ziggler is retired, they'll have free funds, and he'll take, after the... essentially, once Dolph Ziggler is retired, he'll take the extra funds that they have available. Because it's like, all right, well, we're not paying Dolph Ziggler anymore, so I'll take those extra funds. So I was like, this is why I like The Miz. He just says the most deplorable, evil shit to everybody, but he makes it work. He's not cheesy. He makes the shit work. He is probably WWE's best fucking heel right now. And this guy's just an IC title holder. Like, Kevin Owens, yeah, he has his shtick. Chris Jericho has his own shtick, which I think Jericho's about to depart the company for, his hiatus, which he kind of does. He, shows up part-time and then he leaves, which, I'm glad every time Jericho shows up. But when it comes to the heels that they've got, I think The Miz is probably their best one. So I would actually, I can't see The Miz going against AJ Styles, because The Miz is successful because of his in-ring character work, because of how he portrays a heel persona. Like, he just would not work as a face. Like, when they did that short stint of him as a face, it just was not jiving. I was like, why the fuck did you show this guy face? He just doesn't work as a face. This guy works miracles as a fucking heel. Like, he is a fucking godsend when it comes to the heels, which he gets the right reactions from the crowd, and that's what makes him a brilliant heel. Like, with AJ Styles, he gets cheer regardless if he's face or heel, because he's fucking AJ Styles. Kevin Owens, same fucking deal. The guy gets cheered because people like his no bullshit attitude. Jericho, because of, nostalgia and the fact that he's, a great fucking wrestler. But, WWE's just had a sack of, face and heel just really doesn't matter at this point. So, but The Miz, he does what he needs to do, and he does it fucking well. And when we get to the match involving him and Ziggler, holy fucking shit. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyways, moving on. So, this match surprised me. Because, alright, well, first off, I get why people like Heath Slater. I've never really been big on the guy because he's always been WWE's, designated fucking jobber. So I was like, well, there's no real reason to get invested with him other than the fact that he's been with the company for, so long. But with this shit between him and Rhino, I get why people are digging this guy. In fact, I'm actually like, yeah, this guy's pretty fucking awesome. I'm glad they're doing something with him. I'm happy for him, especially, but I get why people like Heath. His recent promos and such have been a thing of fucking brilliance. And it's good to see the guy get some spotlight. Like, he does have talent. The dude's got mobility. The dude's got athleticism. He needs some fucking spotlight. I'm glad he's fucking getting it. And the fucking, I don't know if this is their official team name, but if it's Beauty and the Man Beast, oh, what the fuck? That's fucking funny. I like it. It's goofy, but it's fucking good. I love that shit. But pleasant surprise with this match. I mean, the match was good. I like this match. I mean, for a tag match, it was pretty fucking good. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the fucking pre-show, which, who fucking cares about the pre-show? There was an 8-man tag, and the face team or Alpha. It's the Alpha Team Alpha. It was Team Alpha and Zack Ryder and that other schmuck that he's with. They went over the fucking Ascension and fought villains. Yeah, so okay, there's that out of the way again. It was a match that nobody gave a shit about. But back to this one. Rhino and Heath Slater won. I didn't think they would win. I was expecting Heath to get pinned and then Rhino to kind of turn on Heath, and that would be the break of the team. Or, they may say that for the next SmackDown episode where there's the rematch for the titles or whatever. But the Usos as heels just aren't doing it for me. They really aren't. In fact, they've got them in face paint and all this other shit over here, which they weren't in face paint. Them as heels just isn't doing it for me. They don't work as heels, in my opinion. I'm not buying it. I really am not. I would like to see them and Naomi get back together and be a thing again because I forget which fucking Uso it is, but one of them is married to Naomi. I want to say it's Jay. No. Yeah, Jay. I want to say it's Jay Uso. If I'm wrong, leave a comment down below saying, nope, Luca, you were wrong. In which case, it's like, oh, well, shit. All right. Anyway, so this match was good. I liked it. For a tag match, it was pretty fucking solid. Rhino and Heath got their spotlights, as did the Usos with their semi-heelish tactics or whatever the fuck, the double teaming, which happens with all heel tag teams, so it's not like it's something unique to them. So again, the Usos as heels just don't fucking work. That's just my opinion, though. If people feel like they work, all right, I guess they work. But them being these, like, new edgy guys or whatever, it's just not jiving with me. I like them more as faces. I mean, I know you're supposed to like the faces, but they just, as heels, they just don't work. It's kind of like if they turned Rey Mysterio heel, it just wouldn't fucking work. So next we had Baron Corbin versus Jack Swagger, which is it Jack Swagger? That should tell you something. I forgot Jack Swagger was fucking employed by the WWE still. I thought he had like gone off to Jobberville or he just wasn't involved with the company anymore. So I was like, wait, Jack Swagger, he's still a thing? What? Got me surprised. So the match itself, I guess it was a placeholder, if anything. It was okay. Ish. So I guess they had a controversial end to a match they had last Tuesday, where Corbin may or may not have tapped, but I guess he was going for the bottom rope or some shit. I watched the footage, but I don't think I paid much attention to it because I just didn't care because nothing was really at stake here. It was just kind of like a revenge match, if you will, for Corbin to be like, well, you know what? I unfairly lost, so I need to redeem myself, which he did here because he won. I forgot what exactly led to this, but Corbin won via eye poke to the, eye poke to the eye. Wow. Poked Jack Swagger in the eye, and then he did one of his finishing moves, and he won. So that was a match. Again, it wasn't terrible. It just didn't do much for me. Like, I just didn't care because I'm not really big into Jack Swagger, and I'm not really big into Baron Corbin. So it's nothing against them. I just don't care much for them. And next we had basically what I consider the real main event here. What should have been the last match of the evening. That is The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. So again, I figured they would have saved this for the main event because of the way they built it. Because it's title versus career. And it's okay to highlight the IC title above the WWE World Heavyweight title. In this very instance, because of the fact that there were multiple people going for the World Heavyweight title, and in this case, it was career versus title match. So the IC title does need to be elevated, and The Miz has done a phenomenal job at elevating this belt to a point that it hasn't been in a long fucking time. So, I was like, all right, well, I guess this is the main event. Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton was going to be the main event, which I was like, okay, I'll roll with this. I mean, I won't object because, quite simply, this match was fucking amazing. Fucking amazing as shit. You had them throw like a little bit of a throwback. They had a bit of a throwback to The Miz's previous match against The Miz where Maurice sprayed his eye or whatever. And, she sprayed him in the eye like mid-match and, Miz went for a pin. And Dolph just put his fucking foot on the rope. I was like, all right, they're going to do this fucking ending. I was kind of like, fuck. And then I see his foot going up in the ref noticed. I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's fucking brilliant. That shows that Dolph Ziggler has good in-ring awareness as to where the fuck he's at. And then they had the Spirit Squad come in, and the ref ejected them and Maurice, and there were just so many shitty tactics that Miz was trying to employ, and they just kept not doing the fucking job. And you saw that frustration build up within him. My God, there was just a roller coaster of tease endings with this, whether it be Dolph Ziggler suddenly breaks out the Famouser, or the Miz does some shitty heel stuff. But this was the Miz being heel 101, like proving why he is the best heel that WWE has. Like, he was almost a classical heel in this match. And I have to give mad props to both the Miz and Dolph Ziggler. This match, fucking amazing. Like, holy shit, was this match fucking good. And I want to hear OTR Central shit on this match. I want to hear him shit on Dolph Ziggler because I know he has a negative opinion about him. I want to see what he says about this guy, about this match. Now, granted, I do respect OTR Central's views and opinions about wrestling, even though he's been like a super negative Nancy as of late, but I kind of get why, because the product itself has been kind of But for me, it's getting a little bit better. It's gotten a lot better. Not a lot better, but a bit better. Ignoring Raw, because Raw is still fucking garbage. And Clash of Champions was a terrible pay-per-view, but terrible pay-per-view with some sprinkles of okayness in it. But this pay-per-view, I would say Backlash was better, but this one definitely had some gems, and Miz versus Ziggler was the biggest, shiniest gem of this fucking evening. And these two have given this belt some fucking prestige. Like, really, this belt actually means something again. So I want them to keep doing this shit with this belt. Dolph Ziggler did win, much to my own surprise, because I figured he was going to lose. Just given the story development and the plot they had going with this match, I figured Dolph Ziggler was going to lose, but he didn't. So, pleasant surprise, but again, this match, regardless of who won, this match was fucking amazing. I cannot sing enough praises about it. So, anyways, moving on. Next, we had Alexa Bliss versus Naomi. This is kind of an impromptu match because, again, Becky Lynch was injured. Now, when you compare this and contrast this with Nikki versus Carmella, you can really see a difference in talent and style. Now, I want to say that Carmella probably has some in-ring talent. I didn't really see much of her NXT stint, so I don't know how good or bad she really is. But in her match versus Nikki, the hair pulling and all that other stupid shit, I was like, all right, whatever. I don't care. This one, you actually had some legit athleticism between the two, and that is Naomi and Alexa. I'm not saying this match was fucking amazing or great or anything like that. It was a decent match at best, but when you compare what went on in this match to what happened with Nikki Bella versus Carmella, you could see a very significant difference in talent, with Naomi and Alexa being very, very superior to Nikki Bella and whatever the fuck Carmella was doing in that match. That match was that was just such a passable match. It was essentially Carmella versus Nikki was Carmella yelling, screaming, grabbing Nikki's hair, trying to do some, she had in-ring psychology when she kept targeting Nikki's neck because she had a neck injury. So I guess kudos to Carmella for that. But again, Nikki did a rack attack 2.0, whatever the fuck she's calling it, and that was the end of that match. But this one, actually the ending to this one was a bit weird because I think, Alexa had a submission move applied, but Naomi rolled it to where she essentially pinned Alexa Bliss. I was like, oh, that was fucking weird. Like, what business does Naomi have winning? Don't get me wrong, I like Naomi. She's fucking good. She's fucking talented. And I like this whole 2.0 version of her that we got going because her entrance is how to describe her entrance? Her entrance is good because of the various lighting things going on. I feel like I'm selling this match a little shorter. I'm not explaining it in the not perfect details, but the ideal details I'm trying to get out here. I want to say I like the new look with Naomi. I like her new look. I like her fucking in-ring performance because she's athletic. She can fucking move. She can do some amazing feats, but I don't know. This ending was just a little weird. I guess because it was unconvincing. Because again, it was just Alexa locked into submission move, and Naomi rolled her over and got the 1-2-3, or yeah, the 1-2-3. So it was like Alexa Bliss looked like a fucking nublet in this match. But again, I mean, overall, this match wasn't bad. It was okay. It was there. It took up the space it needed to take up. So next we get into Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. Now there is a fucking hilarious story which I need to leave a link down below to in regards to Eva Marie. Essentially, she was supposed to pop up as the proverbial Sister Abigail, and I was like, the fuck? Okay. Let's see how this goes. And funnily enough, like, all right, to get this out of the way, this match was okay. It was good enough, but it wasn't anything spectacular. It was good enough. There was some in-ring psychology between the two because, the two do play mind games with their various opponents. And there was a bit of history here. And the promo they had for it was pretty fucking good. But again, the match itself was good. Nothing really to write home about, but nothing to really complain about. There's nothing negative I can really say about this match, but nothing I can really just highlight saying like, oh my god, fucking amazing. So all I was thinking was, though, when I first saw, or not when I first saw this match, but when I first started watching, I was like, if Bray loses here, I'm out of fucks to give about this guy because he can't fucking win a pay-per-view to save his goddamn life. So if he lost here, it's like no one should give a shit about Bray Wyatt anymore unless they spin this for him to have some kind of change of direction, like with MVP when he had that losing streak. Because, I mean, to be honest, in my opinion, if you had turned Bray as a face when the Authority was still a big thing going around, I figured, Bray Wyatt versus the Authority would have been fucking amazing. That would have been something cool to see. This would obviously be post-Shield breakup, so Seth Rollins would still be your champion at that point down, where he would be your Money in the Bank owner. And I think that would have been good, because that's where Bray Wyatt as a face would have worked. And then once the Authority breaks up, then you could turn Bray Wyatt heel again and have him do the shit that he's doing. But the thing is, he jives with fans. People fucking love this dude. So it's like, why don't you turn face? In fact, they did turn him face, but that didn't amount to shit because he got injured. So they went back to him being a heel. Him and the Wyatt family being heels again. So, yeah, it didn't amount to shit. And then they broke up the Wyatt family again. So I guess Braun Strowman is out doing his own thing. So too long don't read. Braun Strowman's basically becoming irrelevant after a bit here. Eric Rowan's never really been the relevant guy. He did his short face turn, but again, nobody really gave a shit about him. Luke Harper has a lot of in-ring talent. Him and Bray Wyatt are probably the only two that actually have any real speakable talent when it comes to the Wyatt family. Eric Rowan was just kind of the third wheel, if you will. Braun Strowman, I don't know what the fuck they were going with him because he's just another big dumb idiot giant. That's all he really is. He doesn't have any kind of in-ring persona like the Big Show or some intimidation like Kane. He's there. He's the big enforcer that nobody's going to give a shit about. So, again, my only real issue with this thing with Bray Wyatt is that they keep breaking up the Wyatt family and reuniting them. But what do I mean by reuniting them? Well, to hark back to the whole Eva Marie thing, the whole Wyatt, the bird shows up and then there's the jump type thing. I was like, holy fuck, are they really going with this Eva Marie thing? Holy goddamn shit. Like, really? And then I see that it's Luke Harper, and he's just, wearing a hood, smiling at him, looking like Bray Wyatt, and he pulls the hood back and, has his tongue out, ah. And I was like, oh, okay, it's Luke Harper. Wait, Luke Harper? Wasn't he on Raw? Or didn't they break up the Wyatts or whatever the fuck? But anyways, he distracts Randy Orton. Bray Wyatt swoops in, does Sister Abigail, gets the win. And that's the end of that match. So again, good match. Wasn't particularly great. Wasn't particularly terrible. It was kind of there. The two best matches I would say in this pay-per-view would be the Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz and the triple threat for the WWE World Heavyweight title. Those were the two best matches of this night. The worst one, Nikki versus Carmella, because nobody gave a fucking shit. Nobody gave a shit. The rest of it, though, barring the weird finish with Alexa versus Naomi, this was a pretty solid pay-per-view finish. Again, it was disappointing to see that Becky was injured, but I hope she gets better. I really do, because I do like Becky Lynch. And again, I do feel like WWE does overwork their employees and with their performers. Slow down on the house shows, guys. You did a brand split, you can slow down a little because that's why you're having so many injuries because of all the fucking in-house shows that you do. Let these people have some rest time. That's what they mainly need. Some fucking rest time. That's, if WWE would fucking recognize that's why they have so many goddamn people that are injured, maybe they would have people that they could have with long-term title runs, or they would just be healthier in general. But anyways, folks, gone on for 30 minutes. I wanted to I was hoping to cut this to maybe a 20-minute video, but again, it's like I get into the details and shit like that. Which, Bruce Blitz, he gets into more of the details. He gets into the details of the details. Me, I try to keep it as general as possible, but I guess even I can kind of get, sucked into talking about the things that go on, or, I need to re-elaborate things. But anyways, what did you think of No Mercy? Leave a comment below. Let me know. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Anyway, folks, I'm going to go turn in because it is late as shit, and I need to get some fucking rest. So anyway, folks, this has been WWE No Mercy, my review / discussion about it, and I shall see you all for whatever video I upload next.